Here's something that messed with my head for years. I was eating what I believed was a genuinely healthy diet. Smoothies, rice cakes, low-fat yogurt, granola. And I was constantly hungry. An hour after eating, stomach growling, already thinking about the next meal. I kept blaming myself. Weak willpower, lack of discipline. Turns out it wasn't me. It was the food. And the research on this is fascinating, because some of the foods with the strongest health reputations are specifically the ones your body processes in ways that leave you empty, fast. Today, we're breaking that down with actual science, so you can make smarter choices wherever you are. The science of hunger. First, you need to understand what actually drives hunger, because it's not just your stomach being empty. Hunger is hormonal. Two hormones do most of the work: ghrelin, which signals hunger, and leptin, which signals fullness. Certain foods spike your blood sugar and drop it just as fast. And that crash is what sends ghrelin surging. A 2013 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition used brain imaging and found that high glycemic foods activated the nucleus accumbens, the brain's craving center, hours after eating. The food literally triggers cravings neurologically, not just physically. And a landmark 2021 study in Cell Metabolism, tracking adults on ultra-processed versus unprocessed diets, found that the ultra-processed group ate 500 more calories per day without realizing it and reported feeling hungrier. The hunger wasn't in their heads, it was biological. And several foods driving this aren't the obvious junk food suspects. They're the ones with the health labels. Smoothies and fruit juices. Start with smoothies and fruit juices. The global smoothie industry is worth over $14 billion, marketed almost entirely around clean eating and vitamins. The ingredients can genuinely be nutritious, but when you blend or juice fruit, you destroy the fiber structure. And fiber is what slows digestion, blunts blood sugar spikes, and gives your gut the bulk it needs to send fullness signals. A whole orange has 2.4 grams of fiber and takes time to chew and process. A glass of orange juice delivers the same sugar, with almost none of the fiber, processed in minutes. A study in PLOS Medicine following over 180,000 participants found fruit juice was associated with increased type 2 diabetes risk, while whole fruit was associated with a decreased risk. Same fruit, completely different biological response. Smoothies, depending on how they're built, can easily hit 60 to 80 grams of sugar, more than a can of soda. The fix isn't to stop eating fruit. Eat it whole. Or if you blend, add protein and fat, nut butter, Greek yogurt, seeds, to slow that blood sugar curve down. Rice cakes and low-fat snacks. Rice cakes, low-calorie, light, crunchy. Sounds smart, right? Here's the problem: they have a glycemic index of around 82. Table sugar sits at about 65. You are eating something that converts to blood sugar faster than straight sugar, wrapped in packaging that says light. This is the low-fat trap, and it did enormous damage globally. When fat is removed from food, it gets replaced with sugar and refined starch to maintain taste. A 2016 analysis in JAMA Internal Medicine revealed that the sugar industry had funded research in the 1960s, specifically to shift blame for heart disease from sugar to fat. The science was manipulated, the message spread worldwide, and it stuck. Low-fat flavored yogurts, dressings, crackers. These often have more sugar than their full-fat versions, less satiety, and a blood sugar response that has you hungry again within the hour. Fat is one of your body's most important fullness signals. Remove it, and you usually end up eating more, not less. Hey, if this is clicking for you, hit the like button right now. 1 second genuinely helps this kind of research-backed content reach people who need it. All right, let's keep going. Granola and healthy cereals. Granola has one of the most successful health images of any food on earth. Oats, nuts, seeds. It sounds nutritious. And in basic homemade form, it can be. But commercial granola, on shelves from London to Lagos to Los Angeles, is typically held together with significant oil and sugar, sometimes honey or maple syrup, which sound natural but spike blood glucose just as sharply. A 2019 review in BMJ Open analyzed over 1,700 healthy breakfast products and found the vast majority exceeded recommended sugar thresholds. Serving sizes on packaging are also, let's be honest, aspirational. Nobody pours 30 grams of granola. Real portions tend to be 2 to 3 times larger. The oats themselves are legitimately good. Beta-glucan, a soluble fiber in oats, has been consistently shown in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition to improve satiety and lower LDL cholesterol. The problem is what surrounds the oats in most commercial products. Plain cooked oats topped with real food are one of the most filling breakfasts you can eat. Most packaged granola is not that. Diet drinks and protein bars 5. 2 more, fast. Diet sodas. 0 calories, sweet taste, feels like a free pass. But a 2017 review in the Canadian Medical Association Journal covering 37 studies found long-term artificial sweetener consumption was associated with increased body weight, obesity risk, and metabolic syndrome. The theory is that sweet taste without actual calories confuses your body's hunger signaling system. It expects fuel to follow sweetness, and when it doesn't arrive, appetite regulation breaks down. A 2022 study in Cell also found certain artificial sweeteners alter gut microbiome composition in ways that impair glucose tolerance. Then there's the high protein bar, and protein really is one of the most satiating nutrients we have, backed by a solid meta-analysis in the British Journal of Nutrition. The problem is that many protein bars also carry 20 to 30 grams of sugar and heavily refined ingredients. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found whole food protein sources, eggs, legumes, fish, produced significantly greater satiety than the same amount of protein from processed supplements. What surrounds the protein matters just as much as the protein itself. None of this means you need to eat perfectly or obsess over every label. What it means is that the food industry has become very good at speaking a health language that doesn't always match what food actually does inside your body. You deserve to know the difference between food that nourishes you and food that just claims to, and that difference comes down to fiber, real protein, the degree of processing, and how fast it hits your bloodstream. Eat whole, eat real, and when something comes with 8 health claims on the front of the packet, flip it over and see what's actually in it. If you want more content like this, real science, no fluff, explained like a real conversation, subscribe. I genuinely love making these, and I'd love to have you here for the next one. Take care of yourself. See you soon.